welcome to my channel. Well, I did some sharpening on the SE3, and after I talk on this, I'm going to add the other video, which is like 15 minutes long, and I don't talk in it. I'm just doing sharpening. But the title of this video is going to be like Reprofiling SE3 to 24 degrees. And some people might say, why 24 degrees? Well, that's not going to be the final edge angle that I put on it, but when I went to sharpen it, there's a bunch of different ways you can find out what your edge angle is, but kind of the basic thing that I was doing was, with the factory edge sitting here, this is not factory edge, with the factory edge sitting here, I laid, with my work sharp precision, I laid the stones on it, and then I adjusted the angle up and down until it matched the angle there, and then I read the angle on that. Now, that's not as accurate. I've got an edge, an angle finding gauge and all this other stuff. There's ways that you can, make that accurate. But what I was looking at was the angle that was on the Esee edge is supposed to be like 20 degrees from what I read from the factory. Well, this one's reading closer in between 30 and 35 degrees. Not that it wavered that much. The angle was consistent throughout it. But that's the range of accuracy, I'd say, that the scale thing, just eyeballing it looks like is, around 5. It could be plus or minus something. But anyway, yeah, most sharpening systems, guided ones, are going to have the edge angle at 20 or 25 degrees, like Lansky and a bunch of those other ones. And this is not finished, basically. The video that I'm doing, most of it was done at 600 degree grit, the highest grit. Another thing that I don't talk about, but I did later on, is when you put the edge on here with the Sharpie, see how this ink comes up? Well, when you're sharpening, and if you're trying to look at the edge and you're judging it by the black mark, you might think that I need to take more off over here. Well, no, that's not necessarily true. It could be that your Sharpie went further, and if you're following the black mark, so I would recommend not looking at that or watching that too closely. After a while, I took some alcohol and took the original sharpening mark off, because the whole purpose behind putting a black mark on your existing edge is to find out where your stones are cutting. If you set the angle at, let's say that this was 35, and you want to set it to a 20 degree angle. Well, depending on the type of steel and how much grit you've got, that could take a while. You're better off sometimes just doing it in layers, like instead of taking the whole 10 degrees off at once, take 5 degrees off and see how it cuts. Now, another thing is this coating. As much as I love the looks of it and everything else, even if you've got a very sharp edge, when your material starts hitting this, it'll do some kind of dragging. So when you're cutting paper with a sharp knife with a smooth edge, you don't really notice the paper dragging on the material. Even though your edge is sharp, it'll give you that, it's not going to give you that nice cut feel, is what I'm trying to say. So the edge can be sharp, but it's slight. I mean, it's just a nitpicky thing. And, some people don't like that and stuff. So one of the things, I don't really worry about what other people think, but I'm looking at, they might have a valid reason, behind taking this coating off, because it is a tough texture coat. And it doesn't look bad with the taking it off. I'd leave it on underneath the handles, because then it doesn't matter. I'm just talking about cutting edge, when you're cutting material. Now, this one, I think if I lay it down to 20 degrees, would be pretty good. It's kind of like, it's a fixed blade, It's a small one, but I see people batoning wood with it and everything else. So it depends on what you want to use your particular knife for. Um, for me, if I start getting down, this is almost the size of a fixed blade. That look at Peppy. He don't even blink when your eye, Peppy, your eye. Um, if it gets below 3 inches, like I said, I've got a pocket knife is going to be much thinner behind the edge. It's going to do a much better job of cutting stuff. This is something that you use that, for me, you're not worried about flipping it or anything. As soon as you grab it and pull it out, it's ready to deploy. You're using it to cut. What am I cutting most of the time? Paper, boxes, messing around with wood, carving and stuff like that. So I think anywhere between a 20 and 25 degree edge would be good to have on this, and that's what I'm going to try. I'm going to leave it at 24 right now, so I've yammered on too much. Anyway, I just wanted to do the little preamble to the rest of this video, which is going to be very long now because I ran my mouth. So I'm really digging the knife. I really dig the Esee knives and their Grander Adventure and then Training Rat 3. There's Ontario Knife Company. Yeah, you should have shut up a long time ago. Yeah, I know. Can't stop running my mouth. So thank you for watching, and you can fast forward through the rest of this if you want, but I'm going to leave it at a realistic time. I don't think I'm going to speed up a lot of it. I'm going to leave the video speed time so you'll get an idea about how long it takes if you want to profile a knife. And this is 1095, it's not D2, so D2 would have taken a little bit longer, or any of the tougher steels would have taken longer. But as it is, it's going to be a while. But I think the results in the end is your knife is going to be sharper than when you started, hopefully.